Okay, so 23 times 21. So there's a couple ways we can do this. We can set it up like this and do it the way we've normally done in school. Another way we can set this up is if we create boxes. I think I showed you this a while ago.
Lattice something?
Not quite. It's the way it works is you set up boxes with the numbers. So our numbers were 23 and 21. So if you notice, I have a box for the 2s and the 3s, and then one for the 2s and the 1s. Okay, so I make sure I have boxes all the way across. Okay, and the other thing I do is I just kind of put diagonals through them. Okay, so this is how we can set up a second one.
Yeah, I
So we'll do
remember
it.
this box.
You remember the boxes before? Yeah. Okay, so I'll show you that second, and we'll do this one first. Okay, so this one first, what we deal with is we do the 1 times 3.
And then it's 3.
That's 3. And then we do 1 times 2, which is 2. Right. So now what we've done is we've excuse me. We've dealt with the 1. Okay? So because we've dealt with the 1, consider it gone, and what I have to do now is I have to start with a 0 before I can start multiplying with the 2's.
Oh, that's what I was mixed up with yesterday. I forgot.
So I put a 0 in, and then I do 2 times 3, which is 6. And then I do 2 times 2, which is 4. And then from there, I'm going to add.
So how did you get that in? You did 0 times 2? Oh, wait.
The 0 we just put in.
Oh,
so every time we move a spot over, we put a 0 in. Okay? And if we were to move 2 spots over, for the next row, we would end up putting 2 zeros in. Okay? But because there's only 2 numbers, we put 1 0 in. Okay? So we add these up. We have 3, and 0 is 3. 2 plus 6 is 8. And 4 plus nothing is 483. Okay?
So, once again, how did you get, like, the 6 there again, like the 4 and the 6?
So what we did is, once I put my 0 in, because I'm done with those, I start with the 2 now. So I did 2 times 3. That gave me 6. 2 times 2. That gave me 4.
Oh, you did the 2, straight up, right? The 2.
Exactly. We did the 2. Just like I done the 1, I did the 1 times 3 and the 1 times 2.
The 2 times 3 and the
2 times 2, exactly. Yeah, we have to make sure we multiply all of them.
Write that down here? Then?
Yeah, sure. Why don't you give that a try?
Okay, so
I'm going to show you another one similar to it. Okay? Let's say we have 312 times 457, let's say. Okay?
Maybe I could just erase all these.
Yeah, if you like. So on this one, I'm going to show you, this time we have 3 numbers. So this is going to continue the pattern. So we always start with our lowest, our number farthest to the right in our 1s column, and that's our 7. So I'm going to do 7 times 2. Then I'm going to do 7 times 1, and then 7 times 3. So start off, 7 times 2 is 14. So we only put the 4 down.
Yeah.
They carry the 1, right? Then I go to 7 times 1. And then what do I have to do with this 1?
Add it to the 8.
Great, so I put 8 down. Do I have to carry anything?
No.
Okay. Now I do 7 times 3.
See, I think that's all.
Yeah, that's right. So it's 21. Okay. So now that I've done the 7s, remember I said that, we're done with them. So now I have to put a 0 down to start my next row. So I put a 0 down to start my next row. Think of it like, because I'm at the 5 now, I have to put a 0 down, and then I start with the 5. So 5 times 2. 10. So I put the 0 down, and what do I do with that 1? Yeah, so we've already finished with this one. I have another one here. Then I do 5 times 1. And then what do I do with this 1?
You add it to 6.
6. And then finally I do 5 times 3. Good. 15. Okay, but I'm still not done. I've done the 7 and the 5.
And you did 7 times 2, 7 times 1, 7 times 3.
Yeah.
And you did 5
Times
times
2,
5
times 1, 5
times
times
3.
3. Yeah. So what's left?
4 times 2, 4
Okay.
times 1.
How do I set up the 4 though? Remember we put when we started with the 7, we just went straight down. When we started with the 5, I added 1 0. If I'm starting with the 4, what do you think I put down here?
3 zeros or
2 zeros.
Oh,
We're going to put 2. So I remember this column had 1 0. This one now has 2 zeros. Okay? Think of it like, see how far over this number is?
Mm-hmm.
We have to put zeros
sorry.
until we get to that space so we can line it up down here.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. It does.
Okay. So I do 4 times 2, which is
8.
So I put the 8 in. Then I do 4 times 1.
That's 4.
And then finally, what do I do?
4 times 3. 9.
Close. It's
Sorry. 12.
12. Yeah. Okay. So now that I have all of these, I have 3 different large numbers here. What do I have to do? I have to add them. So we're going to add this row. So when I add this row, 4 plus 0 plus 0
is plus 4.
Yep. And then I do the next row. 8 plus 0 plus 0
is 8.
Now this one's a little trickier. 6 plus 1
is 7.
and then 7 plus 8.
15.
15. So I put the 5 down and then I
Carry the 1.
Yep. So let's start again. 1 plus 2.
Is 3.
3 plus 5.
Is 8.
8 plus 4. That's right. So put the 2 down. Carry the 1. Is this making sense?
Yeah.
Okay. 1 plus 1.
Is 2.
2 plus 2.
Is 4.
Good. So we put the 4 down. And what's the last number I got to put down here?
Just the 1.
Just the 1, because we don't add it to anything. So we have a very big answer.
Yeah.
142,584. But do you see when we had a longer number, the pattern was, what was special is we put 1 0 in this column, and then as we got to the next one, we put 2. And say I had another number, how many zeros would I put in that case?
You put 3.
Yeah, that's right. So if I had like a 7 out here, let's say.
This 0 again right there.
This one?
The one beside it.
Oh, the one beside it is because we did 5 times 2.
Oh,
And that was 10. So the
then
0
you
went
carry
there and the 1 went up.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So how about you give that one a try there?
So you do 11 times.
Okay, so next thing we're doing is an example number 2, we'll call it. We're doing long division. So when we do long division, first thing we're going to do is we take our number on the outside and we see if it divides into the first number alone. Can I divide 5 into 2? No, it's 2's too small.
Yeah.
I can't.
You need a bigger
So
number.
I need a bigger number. So now I try 5 and I add the next number. 5 into 29. Does 5 go into 29?
Yeah.
How many times?
I think maybe more than that.
Let's think of a larger number. What we can do is we can write down multiples of 5. So let's try some. 5 times 2 would give me what?
10.
Think I can get closer to 29?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's try to think of 5 times something that'd be closer to 29. So let's try, what's another one you want to try?
5 times 5.
Sure, let's try 5 times 5.
25.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You think we can get even closer?
I think.
Okay, what would be the next one? After 5 times 5, what
5
would
times 6.
5 times 6? What's that?
30.
30. Is there a problem with that?
No.
30?
Well, it's bigger.
It's
than,
too big. Yeah. So we got to go back one. So how many times does 5 go into 29? Do we figure out?
5 times.
5 times. So we did 5 times 5. So we know that it goes in 5 times. And we know that 5 times 5 is 25. So now I take that 25 and I put it underneath the 29. The reason I do that is I'm going to subtract now. Okay? So I put the 25 under the 29 and I subtract these numbers. So what is 9 subtract 5?
9. Oh, okay. 9 subtract 5 is 4.
Yeah, that's right. And 2 subtract 2 is 0. So we have 4. Now, technically, 29 is done. But what we can do is we can put a decimal, We can add a 0 to it. And we can make this longer. Okay?
Yeah.
So now that I have a 0 here, I bring the 0 down. And this number is now 40.
Yeah.
And I have to see, does 5, or how many times 5 goes into 40 now? So we're dealing with these two numbers. So how many times does 5 go into 40, do we think?
So then, do the multiples of 5 again?
Sure, yeah.
I
So-
think 5 times, probably 8.
8? Let's give that a try. 5 times 8. What is 5 times 8? 40. Works perfect. It goes in 40, right? 5 times 8. So, first of all, I did forget this one part. This decimal, we have to bring it up into the question. Okay? So now it's 5 decimal. And how many times did 5 go into 40? We figured it out?
8 times.
8 times. So we take that 8 and we put it here. Okay?
Oh.
What was 5 times 8?
40.
40. So now I write that 40 down here. And I subtract, like we did before. What's 40 subtract 40?
0.
0. That means we're done. If we get the number 0, that means we've gone as far as we need to. We've got our right answer. So
So that should all fit in here.
yeah, it should all fit in here. So we got 5.8 is our first one.
Right.
Is what we have for an example. Okay?
Okay.
So now what we have is 3, and how many times it goes into 26. So the first thing we always try, does 3 go into the first number 2? No, it's too big, right? Okay, so let's try. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do a different number. Just to make it
Because
a
3
little.
goes into 16.
Oh, yeah, it definitely does. Let's try 46. Okay? So we have to find how many times 3 goes into 46. So first of all, does 3 go into the first number 4?
Yeah.
Yeah. How many times?
1. I
Well-
mean, 1?
Yeah, once, yeah.
Because it's only 3 and 3
Yeah.
and 2.
So that's one of our multiples. What is 3 times 1? Remember, whatever we put up here, we have to multiply this by that number. We're going to have to multiply those, okay? So what is our 3 times 1?
The 3 times 1 is 3.
So we take that 3, and we bring it below the 4, because we were only dealing with the 4 before, okay? So I put the 3 below the 4, and I subtract. What is 4 subtract 3?
1.
1. Okay. And now I have to bring down the next number. So I bring down the...
0.
Oh, that's not a 0. What is that?
Oh, 6.
6, yeah. So now my next part of the question is 3 into 16. How many times does 3 go into 16?
5.
Okay, let's try. Well, 3 times 2. Do multiples of 3. What is that?
6.
6. You think we can get closer to 16 than
Yeah.
6? Okay, what's another one we can try?
We can do 2 times.
Are we doing 2 or 3?
3 times. 3 times 3.
Sure. 3 times 3 is what?
No, we can get closer. So
Okay.
3 times 4.
Okay. 3 times 4.
That equals 12.
12.
Then 3 times 5.
Try 3 times 5. 3 times 5.
And that'd be.
Oh, that's 3 times 5.
20.
No?
No, sorry. 15.
15.
So,
Do you think we can go closer without going over now?
no.
15 is the right number.
Yeah.
So, what did we multiply 3 by to get 15?
3 by 2. We did 3 by 5.
5. So I put that 5 up here. And remember, we did 3 times 5 equaled 15.
Yeah.
So I put the 15 below here. And I subtract again. What is 16 subtract 15?
Just 1.
Just 1. Okay. Now, have you done with decimals before division? Yeah, I think so. So is 46 done now? Technically, we've gone all the way we can.
Yeah.
So what do I have to put down here?
0.
Yeah, I put a 0
A decimal.
and a decimal, right?
Yeah.
So we extend this, and if we put the decimal there,
Decimal.
I got to put the decimal up there. So now I got to bring down the 0. So when I bring the 0 down, what's the next number we're trying to figure out 3 goes into?
We're trying to figure out 10.
10.
Yeah.
How many times does 3 go into 10? If you take a look, we got a pretty good list we can already look off of for our multiples of 3. So which one would work best without going over?
12.
12? Is that over 10?
Oh, that is over.
Over.
Oh, 9.
9 works good. Yeah. So what do I have to multiply 3 by to get 9?
3.
3. So I put that number up here, 3. And 3 times 3 is 9. So I put the 9 below the 10. Subtract again. What does it become?
It becomes 0.
10 subtract 9?
Oh, sorry. I thought it was first side 1.
1. And okay, well I still have 1, so I can keep going with decimals. I can put another 0, and keep going. But if you notice, I'm going to get a pattern. If I put this 0 down here, and I bring it down, what number am I trying to figure out if 3 goes into again?
10 again.
10 again. So that means it's going to repeat forever. So what's the sign for repeating forever? Do you remember?
It's a little line on
a little
the
line.
top.
So instead of writing out 3 again, and 3 again, and 3 again, we're just going to put a line above this 3 because we discovered it's a repeating pattern. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so if you notice, in this question they have -7 times 3 plus 4 times -1 divided by -5 times 5. Okay, so there's our equal sign. So if we keep going, first you dealt with -7 times 3, right?
Yeah.
We don't add them first because in BEDMAS we do multiplication first. So -7 times 3 is -21, right? And 4 times -1
is -4.
-4. And then I just kind of bring down my addition sign in between. Now it's all divided by -5 times 5, -25. So, remember those were part of our rules there. We should put some rules on the side. That anytime we multiply a positive number times a positive number, our answer is going to be positive.
I need to write that down.
Yeah.
Because I forgot about that.
A negative number times a negative number will give us a positive answer again.
Is this all the same for pluses and
This is for multiplication.
Oh.
Multiplying. Okay, these are the rules for multiplying. And then a negative times a positive will give us a negative answer. And a positive times a negative will give us a negative answer. So that's exactly what we did here. We had a negative times a positive. We got a negative answer.
So you still just multiply 7 times 3.
Yeah.
But you do a negative, but you bring the negative with it because a negative plus a positive
Times a positive.
is a negative.
Yes, very good. So the number is whatever. You don't even have to worry about the sign. We just think 7 times 3, 21. Then I worry after about the sign. I had a positive times a negative, so I'm going to have -21. Same here. I had a positive times a negative, so right away I already know my answer is going to be negative. Then what is 4 times 1? Well, it's 4. So -4 is my answer. Same with here. I had a negative times a positive. So I already know, according to my rules, a negative times a positive is a negative answer. I know my answer is going to be negative. 5 times 5 is 25. So my whole answer was -25. Okay, so also, now what we have is we have -21 plus -4. Okay? So we got to remember our negatives here. We got to remember what our rules are to these things. -21 plus -4. So that's starting at, have you seen a number line before? So if we're on the number line and say we're at -21, if I have to go back 4, so I'm going to go, so remember the next number would be 22, 23, 24, 25, I should have wrote this more, 20, let's make this a little longer, So these are our numbers along our number line. If I have to add -4, so I'm starting here at -21.
Yeah.
If I'm going in the negative direction, which way am I going? Am I going left or am I going right?
Left.
Left, that's right. So, because we're going left, I have to go 4 spaces to the left. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4. What am I at now?
-25.
Yeah, so that's our answer on top. -21 plus -4 is, oops, is -25.
Yeah.
I just bring down the bottom part, divided by -25. Okay? And I'm almost done. I still have one more step. So,
I should write this step down.
yeah, sure. Okay, finally. These rules we did before with multiplying, these things right here, they're so, oops, they apply to division too. And we just so happen to be dividing these numbers. So I have a negative divided by a negative. So what are our rules? Negative.
This time divide by negative equals a positive.
Positive. So already we know our answer is going to be positive.
Yeah.
So I don't have to write a sign in.
Yeah.
Next thing I have to do, what is 25 divided by 25?
That. No, that.
Do you know what 2 divided by 2 is?
Yeah.
How many times is 2? So let's write it out here. How many times does 2 go into 2?
2 goes into 2
once. So, same idea. How many times does 25 go into 25? Once. So what is -25 divided by -25?
1.
1. Is it positive or negative?
Positive.
That's right. So our answer is positive 1.